welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Skye and I post beginning level acrylic painting tutorials here on YouTube every Saturday. So make sure to hit subscribe so you can join the fun and paint along, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. Alright, so it is pre-Valentine's Day weekend, probably the official Valentine's Day weekend, so we had to do another special Valentine's Day painting for today. So I have a heart-shaped rose bouquet for us. We're going to be using our 4 standard brushes for this class like we do in most of our classes. This is a kit that comes with 4 sizes. Your brushes don't need to be the exact same, but they should be about the same sizes. So this is a 3/4 inch wash brush. Then I have a medium-sized pointed brush, that's a size 10. I have a size 3 small detail brush, and then a very small detail brush that is a size 3/0. Gonna get those in my water cup off the side of the screen. The colors that we have to start with are just for the background step, and we just have a little bit of phthalo green, some cadmium yellow, and a fair amount of white. To see a full materials list of everything that you need, check the description box below. It'll take you to my materials page. There'll be a link there to my materials page, which will show you everything that you need to paint along. All right, let's go ahead and jump right on in. And today's background is super simple. We are just going to be filling it in with a very light green. So I'm taking a little bit of my phthalo green here and mixing it with my white. As you can see, that makes a gorgeous sort of minty color. But I'm gonna bring a pinch of yellow in as well. And I'm gonna go pretty light with my background color. The reason being is that we are going to be adding green leaves to our bouquet later, and we want to make sure that we have a nice contrast. So that green later is going to be a more vibrant, saturated green. So we're going to do a really light green for our background. And it's nice to not overmix your colors so that you get a little bit of variation here in your back and forth brush strokes. Okay, so you can see some areas that are a little bit more yellow, some areas that are a little bit more green, some areas that are a little bit more white, and you can even sort of add some extra streakiness into your background if you'd like as well. We're just gonna fill our whole background in with this light green color and this back and forth brush stroke motion. Little bit of water into our paint mixture helps everything go nice and smooth and soak into the canvas texture. Nice solid first background layer with an easy light green. And once we get it all filled in, like I mentioned, you can add a little extra streakiness, maybe here and there, with a bit of white, or even maybe a bit of more saturated yellow green if you want. Okay, and then once you're fairly happy with your background colors, we are going to step away and let this layer dry and add just a little bit more streakiness before we come back and add our gorgeous rose bouquet. We want to let this layer dry completely and fully. So let's step away, take a quick break, and we'll come back with a whole bunch more. Okay, welcome back, artists. We have a completely dry background layer, and I have a fresh palette with new colors here. So I have some more of my phthalo green and some more of my cadmium yellow. I also have a fair amount of cadmium red and some black and white. I rinsed my brushes and got some fresh water at break as well. Let's go ahead and jump right back on into things. I'm gonna grab my second to smallest detail brush for a little bit of sort of like sketching. And I'm going to grab just a little bit of kind of watered down white because you want a really, really fine, light white here. And I'm gonna go right in the center of my canvas. I'm going to trace out very gently a heart shape. And you could, if you needed to, even make a little cutout heart where you fold the paper, and then you could use that to trace if you wanted a little bit of extra help. There's no real rules for painting, so you can do things like that if you want. But I don't mind the sort of handmade feel of a freehand heart. And I can kind of adjust things a little bit once I get it down, and that looks pretty good to me. All right, let's see, I'm gonna grab now my medium brush. You could use your smaller brush if you wanted to as well, whatever you're more comfortable with. I really like this brush though. I'm going to grab some of my rose color, which is going to be pink. And I'm going to do sort of like a medium pink here, not too bright and not too light either. And I'm going to come on the inside of my circle here, and I'm going to start, or the inside of my heart, and I'm going to start adding circles. These circles are going to go right next to each other. And they're going to be slightly different sizes as well. So these are our roses. And we're just going to kind of fill in our composition with however many roses are going to work. And we can adjust things a little bit. Looking good. Keep that brush stroke going in that circular direction. So you want a little bit of that swirl. We're already sort of building up some of our rose shape with the swirls of the paint itself. Every direction of your brush stroke matters. Keeps things nice and neat, at least for my style painting. I can't do like messy paintings. They always end up very neat and tidy, which is, I think, a little telling of my personality as well. I'm a tidy girl, but sometimes I like to use palette knives to paint. I've not done one with palette knives for these beginning classes. But typically I like to keep all my brush strokes nice and neat and all going the same direction, like our back and forth background here and the circular direction of these roses. Okay, and you can certainly have some that overlap as well. And again, just kind of however many end up looking good, you can balance. That's like we're being florists today. We're creating our lovely little floral bouquet. Floral design is very pleasant as well. I am a fan. Okay, just a couple more here. One, two, three, probably really want to lean into that heart shape. And it's okay to have a little bit of peekaboo green, but we mostly want to have nice, squished, full bouquet. Okay, so I'm gonna probably go around a couple of these a little bit more and just make sure that I have a nice, full bouquet without too much of the see-through green behind it. That looks pretty cute. All right, I'm gonna grab my smaller brush now, one size down. We're gonna create some greenery now. I'm gonna grab my phthalo green and some yellow. I'm going to make a nice vibrant green, and I might bring a little bit of white, but see how much darker and more vibrant this color is than our background. We want to make sure that that is the case. And we're going to create now these little leaf shapes around the outside edge, because you got to have greenery in your floral bouquets. Those are going to kind of peekaboo around the rose shapes. Okay, take your time. Remember that this is, not a timed class or a graded class. It's an online format, so you can pause, fast forward, take a little bit of extra time, whatever pace you want to go. It's one of the benefits of the online format, I think, is that because artists go such different speeds, that it's a lot easier to just hit pause if you need to, or even speed it up, although I'm pretty quick. All right, we're just going all the way around the outside edge here with my green leaves. And I'm going to eventually come to a point down here at the bottom. It's okay if you sort of bump them into each other for now and it gets a little confusing, because we're gonna add highlights and shadows to everything. That's really gonna make all the difference. Just working on our base shapes here with our base colors. We've got a nice contrast here with the red and green. And we saw today how making things pink or making things lighter green, we can get this complementary color scheme without it looking too Christmassy. So red and green are opposite each other on the color wheel and are therefore considered to be complementary colors, but they're very commonly known as Christmas colors as well. So sometimes it's hard to get that color composition created without it looking a little too Christmassy. But I do love Christmas, so there's nothing wrong with that. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about color theory, if you've never learned about it, or if you just need a brush up, I do have a course on color theory available on Skillshare. And there's a link below to that course as well. It's called Color Theory 101. It goes all over the color wheel, complementary colors, how to blend colors, how to mix them. And then there's also a special project where we put it all together. And slightly different shapes for our leaves as well, hand sizes. I seem to be sort of favoring the curvy leaf, but whatever looks good to you. And maybe even some that are a little smaller if you need to fill in a little space. We just want that nice outline of greenery around our heart bouquet. And as you can see, I don't have any more white showing from that original heart tree. So that's what we want. All right, so our roses are a little bit drier than they were just a few minutes ago. They should be dry enough for us to do a little bit of layering. We might get a little bit of blending too, and that's all right. And I'm gonna add my highlights first. This is sort of like a mid-level highlight. And I'm gonna grab just this medium pink here with my same second to smallest brush. And I'm gonna come in here and add little brush strokes going in a circular direction all around the center point. And as I come out, they're gonna get a little bit longer. And I'm gonna do a little bit of like a little wavy motion for the petals. So there's like a few there in the beginning. It's like making a disjointed circle of all these petals layered up together. This is a very simple and quick and easy way to do a rose. And we don't want to completely cover the red. We want to make sure that we can still see a little bit of red. These are our highlight colors. We're gonna add shadows too. All around the center here, every single rose. Again, take your time. Each little rose needs your attention. And make sure you have enough contrast in your paint so that it's actually showing up. You don't want the colors to be too close to each other. And I keep getting a little bit of green. I don't want that. Because green and red are opposite, that also means not only are they complementary, but if you mix them together, you'll get a neutral tone. So like a brown or a brownish gray, which is not my favorite. There are uses for that brown gray that creates, oftentimes in like landscapes. But my paintings are very vibrant and simple with our simple colors. And we try not to get muddy. Really just wanted to do something fun and simple for any maybe Valentine's Day painting parties or date nights. Or I know I had a viewer say that she was going to be doing a Galentine's Day party. Love that. Let me know in the comments below where this painting, where you're doing it, where it's made its way to. And also, I do want to mention that I have a Facebook group called the Art Club. That's for my students to share their work. So I'd love to see what you're painting. It's the best part of my day to see you guys having fun painting along and to seeing all the places that it makes its way to. It's the best. So please join us over there. It's free to join. And that is in the description box below. Those are looking pretty cute. All right. Now I'm going to grab a darker red and we're going to do some shadows. A little bit of black goes a long way, and you want to have a nice vibrant red still. So we'll probably just add a tiny pinch. And we're going to come in here and add a little bit now of shadow and additional depth on our roses. And we can take this opportunity to kind of refine that outside edge again too, and maybe refine our shapes a little bit. And again, we still have a little bit of the original base color red showing. And it's not an exact science. Okay, this is art, not science. So it's kind of just keeping your brushes, your brush strokes going in this kind of circular direction. Little flicks of the wrist of color. Kind of in between here, but not exactly. Easier said than done. And they add nice depth, the highlights and shadows do. And we will be adding highlights and shadows into our greenery as well. All right. Looking pretty cute. Can't wait to see everyone's versions. It would be fun to do different colored flowers too. I should have mentioned that before. Just had that idea. It may be too late, but hopefully you got creative. I love seeing people's different renditions of the paintings as well. When you guys mix it up a little bit, I encourage that. Let that creativity loose. All right, looking good. Pretty cute. I like them. All right, let's work on our greenery now for a little bit. So we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start with the shadow color though. Just kind of refine these nice shapes again. So I have a darker green here. I just had a little bit of black in my green. And I'm gonna do a quick outline of my petals or my leaves. And then I'm also gonna do a quick line down the center. Like so. All right. line down each one, and then we're gonna have a few little brush strokes coming from either side as well. And if you want to use your teeny tiny brush, that's fine too. Sometimes when you're a beginner, it's nice to have the control of a very small brush. But once you build up your dexterity, you might feel comfortable with a slightly larger size, and things go a little bit faster. So your brush holds more paint. All right. Nice and tidy looking now with our outline. And I pulled a little bit of pink in there, so I'm just gonna grab some more green. Put that right back on top, tidy that up a little bit. My petals are coming to a nice point at the bottom, accentuating that heart shape. All right. Working our way all the way around. Very pretty. All right. We have just a few more steps left. Home stretch, everybody. Yeah, I thought about doing a different background color too. I think purple would look really nice. But I also wanted to do that complementary color scheme. And I think it's just sort of classic Valentine's Day to choose the pink roses with our green. Pink and green, very nice. All right. Little tiny brush strokes, not an exact science, again, just kind of boop, 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 boop. Helps if you make that noise. All right. I'm just gonna do a quick highlight on our leaves as well. But those are looking better. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Nice. I'm gonna rinse my brush now and get a lighter green color. I'm gonna have a little bit of yellow in it so that it's not too minty. A fair amount of white, but not so light to where brighter than the background color. I'm going to come into my leaves and add just a little bit of highlights here and there, all the way around, so sort of in between your darker brush strokes. But the more random it looks, kind of gives it that painterly feel and makes it look a little less stripy. And not each little section needs it, just a few brush strokes on each one will be enough. Cute. All right, I'm gonna take my lightest highlight now, which I'm gonna do white. And with this last little bit of clean white, I'm trying to find that has a little bit of pink in it. That's all right. I'm gonna do a few just really slight, bright white highlights here on my flowers as my sort of piece de la resistance. A little bit of white can make a big difference on a painting. So it's your brightest highlight. Just kind of wherever you like. in there. Very painterly today, nice and loose painting, nothing too tricky. Wanted to keep it simple today. Let me know in the comments if you like these super simple paintings or if you'd like a little bit more realism. I try to mix it up. A little bit of white on each paint, on each flower, each rose will be our final step today. Very simple and cute. And hopefully a fun activity for you and your loved ones, or even just a party of one. All right, I'd love to know what you thought of today's painting in the comment section below, so let me know what you thought. And if you'd like to do easy paintings like this in the future, don't forget to join me over in the art club too, because I would love to see your work. And that is all the instruction that I have for us this week. So happy Valentine's Day, happy painting, and until next time.